Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, where we make some sense out of, well, now my nonsense, or your nonsense, or the nonsense that's all around us. We were talking about last night, I was telling you, starting to begin the story of my summer, and how my tractor broke right as I was starting, not before, but as I was starting haying season. We asked you last night, like, what have you gone through where there's been this need to, you've wanted to hit the pause button. You've wanted to stop everything until you get something fixed and then re-enter, but it doesn't work that way. What are the things that have paused your life while everybody else's has gone around? The problem with tractors in haying season is all around me, people have tractors, but they're all in haying season too. They're all in summer mode. So you don't get to just go borrow somebody's tractor. And it was a hard thing because, again, I am a person who doesn't like to ask for help necessarily and doesn't like to borrow. I always want God to get me out of it without needing anybody to help in that process. That's not how God works. Usually God works by using people to help you. But as the seed, right, of anxiousness, of doubt, of worry, of frustration, of disappointment comes out, we realize that when that seed is planted, God wants to do something with it. It's not God who plants that seed, but God says that He will allow the wheat and the tares to grow up together. There's a parable where the farmer plants the wheat, the enemy comes in and plants a bunch of tares at night, and he wakes up, and the servants say, "What do you want us to do? Do you want us to go pull it out?" And he says, "No, I don't want you to go pull it out right now. Wait till the harvest, and then we'll take out the tares first, and then we'll harvest the wheat. Wait till it's bigger, where it's not going to do the damage to the wheat pulling it out." So again, sometimes we want to rush in and we want to pull out the tare. We want to pull out that which is bad. We just yank it out. And God has a different plan sometimes. He has a plan to allow that to grow, that seed to grow. And that causes stress in my life because I want God to come in and just pull out the bad stuff and get rid of it. So I only have good stuff. But you know as well as I do that that's not necessarily how life works. It's not just full of roses. There's a lot of weeds and things that need to happen. In gardening, right, in order to have great roses, you need to have great soil, you need to have great water, right? But you also need to work with the rose and not allowing the things, the tares, the weeds to come in and take away from that, take away from the nutrients. And so God is constantly doing that in our lives. God is constantly wanting to pull out the weeds in our life, but do it in such a way that it doesn't pull out the good things. We really, really are not good at that. We constantly are trying to help people out, constantly trying to fix them, constantly trying to pull out what's bad in them. But how often do we pay the cost of pulling out the good as well? How many people are destroyed in nature because we're so focused on pulling out that one weed and we end up pulling it all out? Right? How many times have you gone to work where a boss has tried to deal with something that one of the employees did? Maybe you're the boss, so you've tried to deal with something that one of the employees did. And in the midst of trying to deal with that, you really done a lot of damage across the board because we just hop in and we've got to take care of this problem. Good managers, good business people, good stewards know that sometimes we got to let the process ride out. Sometimes in order to keep the good, we've got to allow the bad to get to a place where we can pull it out without hurting the good. I'm not saying that we have to allow sin to abide so that we can have good things. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying when you want something to be taken care of by God right away, get rid of the bad, what you've claimed as bad. God says, I'm gonna let that fester for a little bit. Because if I pulled it out right now, I would also mess with the good. That's in the story of Joseph, where Joseph is a brother with a brightly colored robe, right, of favoritism. He has a couple dreams. Those dreams he tells to his brothers. They get jealous of him and they end up selling him into slavery. He ends up then going into prison for a period of time. And in that period of time, he's wanting to get out of this mess. And God seemingly is saying, no, like, we're not going to get rid of this until the good is ready, till the harvest is ready. And at just the right time, the God of the universe pulls Joseph out of prison and makes him the second most important man in all of Egypt, and basically all of the world at that time. I'm not saying that that's what God is exactly wanting to do with you, but it's the process that he wants to do. That, hey, maybe this bad manager that you want to go away, maybe this tractor problem that you need to go away so you can do what you want to do, well, maybe it needs to be there a little bit so that you can grow. Maybe it needs to be there for a few moments so that you can learn some things from them. So again, what is it that you want weeded out of your life? And if you ask God about it, and if he hasn't done it yet, and if he hasn't done it right away, might there be a reason? And also the same thing for the people that you're watching. Hey, maybe that thing that God, that you want removed from somebody because it would make your life easier, maybe God said, I've got some things that we need to use this for. We'll pull it out. We'll pull it out at the harvest time. But we're going to leave it there for a little bit. So think about that. We'll see you again next time right here, Nightly Nonsense.